The first week in the Big 12 officially wrapped up, at least for the majority of Big 12 schools. So what do we learn? Who stood out? Who disappointed? Anthony Totri, Eric Ruby from PHNX Sun Devils to break it all down. Rubus, quickly going through each and every one of these games. UCF, they beat Jacksonville State in a game that was just kind of pathetic. They only won by 7 there.
Just gross. I mean, UCF, and you said this on the show, has the potential to be the worst Power 4 team out there.
Yeah.
This was a tough win, but a tough win for UCF. I don't really have much else to say except for I feel bad for UCF fans.
Oklahoma State, 27-7 victory over UT Martin. Bonus points if you could tell me where UT Martin is.
Texas.
There you go.
University of Texas.
Just
Martin.
Making sure, man.
I'm not an idiot.
Just making sure.
Not stupid.
What did you think of the Cowboys?
I thought they looked fine. I mean, they played UT Martin,
Yeah.
right? You had to get this win. Oklahoma State, obviously, coming off of a winless season in the Big 12. They're trying to find their identity again. And I think that they can be better than last season. They should be better than last season, but I learned absolutely nothing from them playing against UT Martin.
You mentioned an identity. Caleb Hicks, 21 carries for Oklahoma State in that one. He appears to be the offense, if there's going to be one.
Only 56 yards. Like 21 carries, 56 yards. Flores has 13 of 20 for 136 yards.
Nothing crazy.
Again, this is against UT Martin.
Yeah.
Right? 21 carries against UT Martin for 56 yards. Like, I'm not
great.
expecting big things to get by Oklahoma State.
No.
Probably a bottom 5 team in this conference again this season, but better than last year? Sure.
Gundy's on the hot seat.
Oh, for sure.
They need to do big things.
Which is crazy. Did you ever think that Gundy to be on the hot seat at Oklahoma State?
I mean, here we are, year what, 2023?
I guess it eventually happens to everybody.
It happens to everybody.
We're
Father
next.
Time catches everybody. Hopefully, I still got some time left. Look, from one really bad team last year to another really bad team from last year. That's hopefully on the up and up for that fan base. Houston, 27-0 win over Stephen F. Austin. What'd you see from their new starting quarterback, Connor Weigman?
I mean, he looked better. I mean, he looked better at Houston than he did before. Again, against Stephen F. Austin, you can't really take that much away, but 15 for 24 for 159 yards, 3 touchdowns as well. I think Houston's going to be a very improved team this year. I don't think they're ready to be in contention for a top 5, top 4 team in the Big 12, but I do think they have a chance to surprise a lot of people. And they played frisky last year, and that's due to their head coach as Willie Frisky.
Willie Frisky Fritz, huh?
Willie Frisky
That's probably
Fritz.
not a nickname that he likes
No,
to
probably
have.
not. We should probably not run with that. But I think a lot of people respect the type of program that he's building over there. I think he's doing it the right way. It's a slow burn. We said this a lot with ASU through its first year. You can't microwave success.
Yeah.
You got to bake it. I think they're baking it over at Houston. Obviously, Weigman's not like the quarterback of the future for them, but he's passable, and I think all they need this year is passable to be improved.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Heading to the Cincinnati-Nebraska game where we saw a bodybuilder at quarterback up against Patrick Mahomes Jr. What do we think of Cincinnati just barely losing to Nebraska 20-17?
We learned that lifting weights does not make you better at throwing the ball. Brendan Sorsby, 13 of 25 for 69 yards, 2.8 yards per completion.
And a game-sealing INT.
And a game-sealing INT after he got just a little bit of momentum. Now, to be fair, 13 carries for 96 yards. Maybe Sorsby needs to change positions now with his new ripped body for 96 yards, 7.4 per carry, 2 touchdowns. I think Cincinnati's going to be gross this year. Nebraska.
Gross, like bad gross?
Like bad gross.
Like bad gross.
Like bad
I just want to make sure.
I mean,
there's
like,
gross and then there's gross.
It was,
you know?
Like, Nebraska played really well offensively to only put up 20 points. Areola, 243 yards. Johnson with 108 yards on the ground on 25 carries, right? So, like, Cincinnati's defense wasn't very stalwart, even though they only gave up 20 points. But I just don't think this offense is going to be able to get a lot going. If you're going to rely on Brendan Sorsby on the ground to be your main source of offense, it's going to be a tough run for Cincinnati.
Yeah, definitely a team that misses their starting running back from last year, and Corey Kiner.
Everybody in this conference misses their
Everybody does, but
running back from
some of these
last
other
year.
teams maybe a little bit deeper.
Sure.
Offensively could maybe hang around with it. Another team that couldn't, UCF, right? Going back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier. But moving on to another team that did, in fact, lose their starting running back from a year ago, but they haven't really missed a beat. That's the Kansas Jayhawks. They beat Wagner 46-7 to move to 2-0 on the year. Of course, they had that week 0 victory over Fresno State. Jalen Daniels, 280 through the air and 4 touchdowns. This is a team in Kansas. I know it's been a couple cakewalk games, but they look solid with this.
Good for Kansas. Let's see what you do against Missouri. 12:30 next weekend. Like, let's see what you can do on the road against Missouri. Beating Fresno State, okay. They're not like nothing, right? We're very familiar with them here over at Arizona State. But Wagner, the Seahawks, not competition, right? Not competition. Not even like a good FCS team. Like, they're not good. So we'll see. I'm reserving judgment on Kansas.
I think that's fair.
I think let's see how they play against Missouri. I think they have a chance to be, at their best, a top 5, top 4 team in this conference if Jalen Daniels stays healthy. I think a lot of people expected them to be that last year, and they absolutely weren't, but they turned it on at the end of the season, getting 3 straight wins over ranked opponents. I think that there's a chance that they can be one of those teams that surprises in the Big 12. I'm just not ready to stamp it because they beat Fresno State and Wagner.
Kansas, the only Big 12 team on a Friday night that actually got a win. The other 2 Big 12 teams didn't do themselves any favors to start the year. Baylor losing by 2 touchdowns to Auburn, 38-24, despite Sawyer Robertson throwing for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you had Deion coach Prime Sanders and the Buffs losing a heartbreaker at the end to Georgia Tech, 27-20. What'd you see on Friday night from the Buffs and the Bears?
That's some poor coaching.
Yeah.
Right? It's just some poor coaching all around. Baylor's such an interesting case study for the season because they lost their starting running back.
Dave Aranda, man.
But Dave Aranda was coaching like he was on the hot seat last year because he was. And Baylor's defense really turned it up, and everybody was a Sawyer Robertson believer. I mean, not great completion percentage, 27 for 48, but still got it done. Auburn's not a great team either, but they were still able to take care of business. Colorado, though, man, that was such a winnable game for Colorado. 3 takeaways right off the bat and 7 points to show for it was just absolutely abysmal. Bad clock management at the end by Deion. I mean, that's kind of been the story with this team, right? Bad coaching, and they have some talent, but can they win these big games? I think Georgia Tech's a good team. I had Georgia Tech in my top 25 going into the season. Yeah. So not like the end of the world. I don't think Caden Salter looked that great. Had a couple poor decisions as well. But I think Colorado still has a chance to be a fine football team this year. This isn't like a crazy bad loss, but I think they should have won this game. Like, again, 3 takeaways right off the bat, poor clock management at the end, not the best performance all around from your quarterback. I'm not out on Colorado. I think Georgia Tech's a good team, but Colorado just always seems to get in its own way.
Yeah, no, and I think what got in their way was them not being able to stop a nosebleed against Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech's starting quarterback, Haynes King, only $143 through the air, but my goodness, on the ground, this guy absolutely ran rampant on Colorado's defense, which, again, this is a Colorado defense that was very, very incapable of stopping opposing ground games a year ago.
19 carries for 156 yards and 3 touchdowns.
It was just, you got to be able to stop it. And, like, if you're not able to do that against Haynes King, guess what? There are some quarterbacks in this conference that can use their legs just as good, if not better.
Same as Baylor, by the way. Baylor's let Auburn's quarterback, Arnold, 16 carries, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. Terrible quarterback run defense on both sides for Baylor and for Colorado on Friday.
One of those quarterbacks that we know can run the football, and we saw it in their season opener. Sam Leavitt, Arizona State, the number 11 team in the country, sneaking by Northern Arizona 38-19 off the back of Jordan Tyson's 12 catches for $141 and 2 touchdowns. Devils, an uncharacteristic game full of penalties.
If you want more on that, have a full post-game show over an hour live on our channel. Right now, we'll be breaking down on PHNX Sun Devils all 5 days this week leading up to post-game show on next Saturday against Mississippi State. Can we talk about fraud?
We could talk about fraud. Yeah.
Kansas State.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on with Kansas State?
Yeah, North Dakota, 35-38. Just barely lost that game to Kansas State. I mean, for the sake of Avery Johnson's family, I'm glad that they were able to get this one done.
28-43, not the best, but fine. 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kansas State had to come back.
Jace Brown, man, continues to be a dog, man. 12 catches, $109, touchdown. He right now is probably the second best wide receiver in this conference, not named Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, he's the truth for sure, but is Kansas State the truth collectively?
No.
Losing to Iowa State in Ireland in week 0, almost losing to North Dakota State, literally needing some, massive plays.
Not even North Dakota State.
Sorry, North Dakota. My bad.
Just North Dakota. North Dakota State would have been like a reasonable
North Dakota State's actually like a really good FCS team. This is just North Dakota. But the team that Kansas State lost to in week 0, Iowa State, did not have a problem with the other Dakota.
No, 55-7 over South Dakota. Rocco Beck, just a single incompletion.
That's
in
crazy.
That one, 19 of 20, 278, 3 touchdowns. Rocco Becht continues to pile up game after game where he looks like a man on a mission to get revenge for what happened in that Big 12 championship just a few, not a few short months ago, but several months ago, I guess.
I'm high on Iowa State. Would not be shocked if it's Iowa State, Arizona State in the Big 12 championship again. But the power of friendship might not overcome the power of money over at Texas Tech, 67-7 against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Rocco Becht had good completion percentage. So did Bear Morton, 16 of 18, 201 yards for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is a team in Texas Tech that, despite losing Quentin Joyner for the year with a knee injury, didn't have any problems putting up points in a hurry and in bunches in this game. There was a point where Texas Tech was up like 61-0. Like, they were dominant from the jump.
As they should be.
Yeah, Bear and Morton took care of business against Arkansas Pine Bluff. But yeah, at the end of the day, Texas Tech did what they needed to do in this one.
So did West Virginia.
Yeah, 45-3 over Robert Morris. This is a team in the Mountaineers that is going to be an interesting watch, I think, all
Cam
year
Vaughn.
long. Yeah, dog.
7 receptions, 126 yards for a touchdown. I think they're going to have an identity this year, and that's going to make them a fun team. Are they going to be a really good team in the Big 12? I would say probably not. But could they be the surprise team like Arizona State was last year? I don't think they can get to that ceiling. I don't think they have an individual player like ASU had in Cam Scottaboo last year. But I think they're going to be a fun team, and it'll be interesting when Arizona State plays them at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, mentioning surprise teams, a surprise team from a year ago putting up a surprise score just this past weekend. BYU went 69-0
Very
over
surprise
Portland
score for BYU.
State. I was
not a lot of 69 going on for BYU.
No,
usually.
not at all.
No.
Kind of like if there was going to be any team to have 69 points, it shouldn't be NAU, right? Or
BYU.
It shouldn't be BYU. Excuse me. That's why Retzloff's not there anymore, right?
All right, that was too much. Bear Bachmeier, 97 yards, 7-11 completion, 3 touchdowns. Dude's name is Bear Bachmeier.
It's LJ Martin's team.
He wears number 47. It is LJ Martin's team. 8 carries, 131 yards. Arizona beat Hawaii. Good for them.
40-6.
Yeah, good for them. Hawaii sucks. Utah.
43-10, man. Devon Dampier have a day. 21 of 25, 206, 2 touchdowns, 16 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Man said, I heard you call me short.
Good for him.
Short king.
I don't think UCLA is going to be good this year.
In Salt Lake.
I don't think UCLA is going to be good this year. But
no, I don't.
Good for them. This was a
they paid Nico Amalivia a lot of money to
he's
lose that one.
A lot to be desired because he is not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he's not that
great,
guy.
Man.
I don't think he had a terrible game, but obviously UCLA had a terrible game. We'll see if Utah can be a contender in the Big 12 after a disappointing season under Kyle Whittingham, a rare one last year. Now they actually have a quarterback who can not only throw but also run. I'm sorry, they finally have a quarterback that can actually walk.
Yeah.
Because Cam Rising was not able to do that for them last year.
He just needed a walker, man. That's all.
Literally. Get that guy a wheelchair and a resume. Give me your prediction. TCU, North Carolina, Monday.
I'm going to take TCU.
I'm going to take TCU. Take that, Billy Boy.
Yeah.
And your stupid patents.
I like Josh Hoover, man. I think he is a hell of a quarterback that doesn't get enough of the conversation, enough of the positive conversation in this conference.
Much better than Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah, I've got the Horned Frogs in this one. Before we get out of here, biggest surprise team of the weekend.
NAU. Wow, what a performance from NAU.
We didn't even go with a Big 12 team, huh?
Biggest surprise? Man, I wouldn't say I'm really shocked about anything. I'm a little surprised that it was 40-6 for Arizona. You know, I don't want to give them credit, but like that's a pretty surprising score. Yeah. I didn't think Hawaii was great.
Big win.
But
they beat Stanford a week ago.
Yeah, right. So I mean, good for Arizona. West Virginia played Robert Morris. Can you say that's a surprise? I don't know. Good for them. I guess it is Kansas State, right? Like I didn't think Kansas State was going to be good.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to have to come back to beat North Dakota by 3. Not good.
Yeah.
That this is a team that should not be in the top 25.
No.
When the poll comes out
it's
on
all
Monday.
said and done.
No, even on Monday. They're probably still going to be there.
Yeah.
They'll probably be like 23, 24, but I think Iowa State's a much better team. I think Texas Tech is a better team if Baron Morton and everybody stays healthy there. I'm big on Iowa State. I'm low on Kansas State, and I'll stick on that. I don't think Kansas State sucks, but I certainly do not think that they're the second best team in the Big 12.
No, by no means.
What about you?
I think for me, it's got to be Utah. Devon Dampier, say what you want about UCLA. That's a Power 4 team. Not a lot of the Big 12 teams played Power 4 teams this weekend. And this is a team in Utah that coming off a really down year which, like you mentioned, uncharacteristic of a Kyle Whittingham team to go to the Rose Bowl and to do this, to win by 33 points, and to have a quarterback in Devon Dampier that people were talking a lot of, mess about over the offseason, saying he's too small or he can't throw. And for him to go out there, only have 4 incompletions, over 285 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, Utah is a scary team. We knew that going in with Kyle Whittingham in Salt Lake City, that place to play. But now you give him a quarterback, watch out for the Utes. We'll see what happens in week 2 of the Big 12. But let us know in the comments, who was your biggest surprise team after week 1 in college football? Make sure you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button. And for all your Arizona State content, check out the PHNX Sun Devil Show live 5 days a week. But don't go anywhere. We'll see you next time.
We all silly like the mayor.